And then what? Once you get in there, once you get into the room, what's the first thing you do?
I'm Heather Grzych, and this is the Wisdom of the Body podcast. This podcast explores the idea of body intelligence as the real key to learning the knowledge of life, or what we call Ayurveda in the ancient language of Sanskrit. We do that by connecting with today's creative leaders and experts who will help you listen to your body, trust your gut, and live in deeper harmony with nature. Come join me as we unlock the golden door to clear, direct perception and become very deep listeners. You can find the Wisdom of the Body podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also follow us by joining my email at heathergrzych.com or on Instagram at heathergrzych. I know you're going to love this podcast, so take a second right now to subscribe.
Welcome today. I'm going to invite you to come inside your body for a minute and say hello internally. So if you want to close your eyes, go ahead and do that. Or if you'd like to keep your eyes kind of heavy, that's another way you can do it. Keep them open and keep them kind of heavy, but just get the sense that they'll kind of sink back into the socket, and that your awareness that you would normally have in the eyes is coming inward into the body, the head, and especially into the back of the head, toward the base of the skull. And feeling your hips grounded down. So if you're sitting on the floor, if you're sitting on a chair, just feel that rootedness, and then feel your spine come up out of there in a nice, easy way. Rest your hands somewhere comfortable. You're coming into your body, and you want to be comfortable. So when you sit to meditate, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be like, oh, because then your awareness is going to keep going to that thing that doesn't feel comfortable. So if something feels uncomfortable, don't feel like you have to be like still like a statue and perfect and like some model of a meditator on the cover of Yoga Journal magazine. You want to actually find a position that you are comfortable in. So sometimes that means adding a pillow. Sometimes that means having a blanket on you. Sometimes that means putting your hand in a different position. So I invite you to rest your hands and just notice your hips grounded, and notice the lightness of your spine lengthening toward the sky. Saying hello body, and literally like hello foot, hello other foot, hello legs, hello butt, hello pelvis, hello belly, hello back, hello chest, hello armpits, hello shoulders, hello back of the neck, hello front of the neck, hello sternum, hello top of the head, hello sides of the head, face, back of the head, ears, nose, lips, tongue, fingertips, the whole body. I was listening to somebody she has her hearing, but she was born to a family that does not hear. So her mother, her father, and her two siblings don't hear. And she was the only one in her family that could hear. And she just learned incredible things, not being around people who couldn't hear as their standard of living, and how they interacted with people differently because they couldn't hear each other, and what changed in the way that they connected with each other because of that. And we often hear somebody say, like, if you lose one sense, that you may get a superpower in another sense. So as you close your eyes and you cut off the sight sense, what superpowers do you gain from that? Do you perhaps hear better? Do you perhaps feel more? What are the other senses that are going on? Maybe notice the taste in your mouth more. So cutting off the sight, the light from the outside, and bringing that sense inward, what do you notice? And so one of the things that this woman who grew up in this family of individuals who were all hard of hearing, she said that when they went into a room of strangers that they'd never met, that they're used to people being a little bit, we're all used to people having somebody introduce us when we show up at a party or something like that. We're used to that, needing somebody to introduce us, or maybe we go and reintroduce ourselves, but it's kind of all over the map. But in the hard of hearing community or in the deaf community, they're quicker to automatically introduce each other once they notice that somebody else in the room is hard of hearing or is deaf, that there is a more importance of getting that connection, making the eye contact, because they may normally be left out in the conversation because they can't hear people talking. So very interesting to think about that, and about how that so-called handicap has also created some form of a superpower for those people, their ability to connect quickly in a very unabashed, no holds barred kind of way. And so I want you to ask yourself, if I were to connect with people quickly in a no holds bar kind of way, what would that be like? Would I walk into a room and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so? What would you do differently to remove barriers to connection? What would be different for you? So actually envision yourself walking in a room. You come into a party, you walk into a room, and there's a bunch of people drinking some things, eating some things, talking. You walk in one room in the entrance, and what do you do immediately? Go hang your coat up or put your mask on or whatever it is that you do when you go into hospital people these days. And then what? Once you get in there, once you get into the room, what's the first thing you do? What is the first thing you do? What do you normally feel when you walk into a room like that? What are you feeling in this room? And what will you do next? What will you do? Will you wait and watch and look? Or will you begin connecting? Will you begin interacting, sharing? What will you do? Just envision yourself doing that, exactly what it is. That it may be that you're the kind of person that already goes into a room and introduces yourself, and maybe you need to work on a different thing of like listening better. Maybe you do want to hang back, look around, listen, observe. But they're two ends of a spectrum. They're both connecting, right? But one is inbound only, and one is sharing. So come back to your body from the vision. Settle into your body and just notice how your body feels inside after contemplating being in a different space, in a room full of people, in a party with food and drink and people. What does that feel like? And there could be a whole host of things coming up for you, but just note that. Take a deep breath and then let it out. Take another deep breath. Let it out. Then slowly make your way back into this room, thinking about that transition. So you're going to rub your hands together, get them nice and warm. Take the hands, go ahead and place the hands over the eyes so you're looking into your palms. And then take your palms away from the eyes and just look into the room where you are, or onto the computer, or whatever you're looking into today.
If you are embarking on a fertility journey and are ready to have your mind blown about what your body is really capable of and how it's impacted by the environment, then check out my book, The Ayurvedic Guide to Fertility. You can actually download the introduction to the book for free on my website at heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. Read the intro for free and then buy the rest of this fertility enlightening book pretty much anywhere books are sold. Thank you for tuning in and dropping in with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. I really want to hear your feedback. To learn more about my work, visit heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. and meet me here next time on the Wisdom of the Body.